2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sick Minds of Matt and Eric. My name's Matt. Obviously, you could tell Eric's not here. It's been a crazy almost month. I've been either sick, Eric's either been sick, or our mental health just hasn't been good. Eric right now just needs some time, and I'll leave it at that. He's doing better, so hopefully we'll have him back soon. But today, I have my friends Dan and Sean. Dan is the one to the top left, which has the name on the podcast will be shown, and Sean is the top right. You might remember these two when we were talking about WrestleMania, well, before WrestleMania happened, and our thoughts and everything on the card. And now, we're going to talk about WrestleMania finally, and our thoughts on WrestleMania, what's been going on since, and our thoughts on either Tony Khan's buying all the tickets for All In, or if these are actually people buying the tickets. How are you guys doing today?
I'm just waking up. We were supposed to start this an hour ago. Just woke up. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, people don't know the the behind the scenes, so it's fine. To everybody else, this is normal time.
Yeah, for us it's normal time actually.
Yeah.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing all right. All right.
Man, a few words. I like it.
So I have the night one. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I got the Wikipedia open so I can remember.
So night one was Austin Theory versus Cena, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea, the tag team title match, Becky, Lita, Trish versus Damage Control, Seth versus Logan, Ray versus Dominic, and Braun Strowman and Ricochet, and that whole four-way tag.
You want to go in the order it happened? I have the Wikipedia open, so.
Yeah, sure, we can go in the order.
Oh, opener was Austin Theory defeating John Cena to retain the United States Championship.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, let's go with you first, Dan, because
okay. I thought it was all right.
I thought it could have been a little bit longer, to be honest. Like, I felt like the match was
special.
kind of short. At least in my opinion, It felt short.
See, I barely even really got to watch it. I was driving to Dave and Buster's while I was in Florida, and we were driving to Dave and Buster's, my buddy and I, and we're watching on the phone, and Orlando just has zero service, so I missed most of that match. By the time we got to Dave and Buster's, the match was already over. So
just 11:20. So
yeah, just that's. Yeah.
Do you think they made the right call with Theory going over, or do you think Cena should?
No, I think they made the right call with Theory going over. I just think they probably should have done it in a manner that made him look a little bit stronger. Low blow finishes in the opening match of WrestleMania. Maybe not. Probably, he's really good, Austin Theory. Ever since he got out of like that selfie phase thing.
Yeah.
I've really been enjoying this side of Austin Theory, so it's
an egg stealer.
Oh God, don't even remind me. So yeah. Who stole it? I did. I like it.
I like that shit. That's good shit, pal.
I wanted to take a selfie with it, and I got then he showed back up, and I got scared.
So yeah, I think that they probably should have given him a better finish, or something to the match that it just felt like a cheap way to get out of it and make Cena still look strong without fully giving Austin the win, I guess. So that's my thought on it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it could have went a little longer. I hate low blow finishes. I despise them, and I know it's...
I feel like if they're done in the right context, then it's totally fine. But I mean, like, to make Austin Theory look like he has to low blow John Cena to be able to win, like, you could have found another way to make him win.
Agreed. All right, what was the next match, Dan?
Next match was the tag team showcase, where the Street Profits defeated Braun and Ricochet, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders.
I thought that was a pretty good match. I actually thought they all kind of balled out in that episode, that match. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was a good match. I'm not surprised the Street Profits won, but I wouldn't.
It was 8.5, so it got Fast and Furious finishers pretty quick.
I wouldn't have mind if it was Alpha Academy or Viking Raiders or the new tag team of Braun Strowman and Ricochet. But, what are you going to do? It's good shit, pal. Did you get to see any of that match, Sean?
No. When I was going into Dave & Buster's is when it just finished, so. Who won that match?
Street Profits.
Okay, I like the Street Profits. So that works for me. Didn't get to see it. Heard it was kind of a finish fest. And that's about it. Pretty all right, is what other people were saying.
I mean, especially for a thrown together match to get guys on the card.
Yeah, see, that was the one thing I didn't really like about WrestleMania was how thrown together it seemed. The build up to it could have definitely been better. I feel like it was, very much a how do I put this? I don't know. I'm not going to say Vince inspired, Vince kind of, taking it over, but yeah, the stories building it up just weren't there. For most of these matches, at least. Then, I wish that they had started building this up a little bit longer because, when you've got 4 tag teams in there, that you could at least build something up. Start a brawl somewhere.
Agreed.
I mean, I believe all of them, or almost all of them, were involved in the Andre Battle Royal the night before.
Yeah, actually, I think all of them were involved, except maybe the Viking Raiders.
So weird.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that. So,
all right, third match on the card was Seth freaking Rollins defeating Logan Paul with a giant Prime bottle that ended up being KSI.
Fantastic.
I thought that match was great. I hate to admit it because I hate Logan Paul as a human being, but man, does he have talent for wrestling? He's come in and he's done a really good job, and I'm, good for him. Just hopefully I never have to deal with him being a champion.
Just imagine the day that he does become some champion. He just signed what, a 3-year extension or something like that? A 3-year deal? Or 5 years?
He signed I know he signed an extension, but I didn't see the year total.
The last I heard, he only has a 4-show commitment, so.
Oh, okay, so never mind.
PLE commitment, but he looks like he's willing to build up a match as well, so he's willing to show up on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like he's doing anything with his boxing career anymore, at least not that I've seen, so.
He had said he was retired from the boxing part, I think, before WrestleMania.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Sorry, give the brother the spotlight.
You mean his brother that just got knocked the fuck out?
It was bound to happen.
Yep, that
one. Yeah, good on Seth for, putting on a great match with him. What is your guys' opinions with celebrities coming in to do matches?
In terms of Logan Paul coming in right now, or in terms of KSI coming in as the Prime bottle?
Or for instance, for Backlash tomorrow, Bad Bunny is potentially main eventing with Damian Priest. So
I think it's like what everybody else kind of says, where if you have a celebrity that wants to put in the time and effort to learn and make it a good show, I'm all for it. I mean, if as long as they are put in the correct spot, then it's totally fine. I can understand Bad Bunny tomorrow with, potentially being in the main event of Backlash because it's Puerto Rico.
It's a Puerto Rican versus a Puerto Rican in Puerto Rico.
Right, exactly. So that's the money match. And it doesn't matter if he's a celebrity. I mean, it's Damian Priest, Bad Bunny. The history is there from the last 3 years. And
they teamed at WrestleMania a couple years ago, right? So
they
teamed at WrestleMania and Miz.
The Miz, where
And
he did the Bunny Destroyer.
but that's the thing is, you know, as long as celebrities come in at the right spot, then I'm totally fine for it. If they're just coming in to do what they used to do back in mid to, you know,
I mean,
mid
more
to
than-
late 2000s.
Yeah, just 3 years ago, I think. Lately, it's been good.
Yeah,
Lately, it's
yeah,
been
that
good.
too. Yeah, I forgot that they did the second round of guest hosting kind of deals. But yeah, no, like back in the days of like Kevin Federline having a match against John Cena, bullshit. Like stuff like
Which had
that.
a month of
forgot
build, right?
about
They're
that
like,
match.
on New Year's Day, Federline's gonna face John Cena.
I just laughed at that one. Nope, that's not going to happen. And then Federline won. So
I completely forgot about that match. Completely forgot about it.
Well,
It from my
understandable.
memory. Erased it from my
Understandable.
memory.
It's like 15
Yep.
years ago at this point, so
2007, yes, something like that.
somewhere around there.
It might have been even earlier. Might have been.
Let's use the Google machine.
I'm gonna guess it was probably somewhere around 2006, 2007.
It was still his prime. Basic
Raw,
economics.
January 1st, 2007.
Yep. There you go. Late 2006 into
Yeah.
2007.
But yeah, I agree. Especially if they're gonna have Bad Bunny main eventing tomorrow. I think it tells you that he's put in a lot of work, at least maybe at the Performance Center or wherever he is, like trying to improve.
Even, you know, even like the Royal Rumbles and the WrestleMania matches, it was great. So they have celebrities come through, like, you know, Logan Paul, who put in the time, and then to have that match against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and then just have KSI show up randomly as the Prime Bottle. I turned to my buddy at Dave and Buster's when I saw this big ass Prime Bottle coming out with Logan Paul, and I was like, "Oh, that's definitely Seth Rollins. He's gonna hop out of that thing and just beat the hell out of Logan Paul right here."
That was
And that's going to be the start of the match.
Yep.
And then that didn't happen, so I was like, who the hell's in this Prime Bottle? And then
And the bottle's still there, and the match has been going for 5 minutes.
right, yeah. And then when they set up for this whole spot, and you know, KSI pulls off the mask thing, you know, that it totally made it so much better, because there's that connection of like, sweet, you know,
For me, it
pull him
was
down
like,
on the table.
who? And then I was like, wait, I think I remember. He was part of that whole celebrity boxing YouTuber thing. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm too
Yeah.
old for it. It's not for me. I'm sure everyone younger than me ate that shit up.
Probably.
But
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So
like,
what was the next match?
Next match was the 6-women tag match where Trish, Lita, and Becky defeated Damage Control.
So I have a hot take, and this might rub some people the wrong way, but if Lita's gonna come back for matches, she needs to get in ring shape. She needs to like put in the time, because she just, like, in my opinion, she hasn't looked that good since coming back.
I don't think she's looked good since they brought back the Rumbles, and she's been in all the Rumbles.
Now Trish, on the other hand, looks like she's never left. If anything, she's gotten a bit better, in my opinion.
I'm trying to remember back to the match. I mean, like, Trish is the attraction in that match. When it really comes down to it, because Trish is I would say, the more prominent of, you know,
Female
Lita,
legends.
and yeah, the more prominent, you know, person that people are gonna know from back then. I mean, like, Lita obviously was a big deal with the Hardys and, you know, everything else.
And live sex
With
tape.
S.A. Rios?
That too, yeah. S.A.
See,
Rios.
I remember her back then with S.A. Rios, but everyone would probably be like, "Oh, she was with Matt Hardy first." I'm like, "No. She was with
Generational
S.A.
thing.
You remember when she was Miss Congeniality in ECW and teamed with Danny Doring and Roadkill?
No,
And held Tammy Sitch back while they spanked her ass with a paddle?
no. I wasn't. I didn't really. I wasn't watching wrestling at that point, so
Yeah.
I didn't
I
start
just gotta
till
remember that you're
2002.
younger than me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 2002 is when I started watching wrestling. So
Oh, I've been watching wrestling
strictly
since,
WWE.
I've been watching wrestling since like I grew up. My brother was into wrestling, and so then I was like, so I can kind of remember the Shawn versus Razor Ramon ladder match, and I was like probably like 3 or 4.
Damn.
My first WrestleMania that I watched was WrestleMania 20.
Like
Okay.
So
as things were going on.
yeah. So 2002 into 2003, that was where I started watching wrestling. Didn't watch WrestleMania 19, because back then it was pay-per-view and it was like $60.
Dude,
Expensive.
they were so expensive.
Before they went to pay-per-view, before they went to HD, and it went up another $10.
Yeah, and then my thing was that I used to go to an old buddy of mine's house and we used to just watch them at his place. His dad was a huge wrestling fan, and so we'd go over there and watch him. But either way, when it came to the match of Trish Stratus, Lita, Becky Lynch, just I don't remember necessarily how well Trish was moving. I know that in the weeks or month now since, there, like, this whole turn thing, I don't really understand it. I mean, I kind of do, but I didn't know she was going to be coming back as like a full-time active wrestler, or at least
I
a
wasn't
part.
expecting her to get drafted.
She was part of the draft.
I wasn't expecting
that. I saw that, and when did she get signed again? Like, is this not just like a Legends deal, or?
But she got drafted.
Yeah,
right.
so,
yeah.
So like I've been waiting for dirt sheets to like say like what her contract is now, and none of them have. And Trish seems to be fully in on this Becky feud, so it's making me wonder if like what else is to come with Trish. Like, is she on like an Edge deal, or is she now that because she had kids, right? Yeah. Now that her kids are grown up more, like, is she now gonna come back like full time? Like, it's interesting. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Trish a bit more.
I definitely think that she's slowed down a bit. She needs to kind of like lay in the hits that she's making. But other than that, I mean, get back to your point.
05. It's now mid 03, mid 23.
Was it 05 or 07?
Yeah, mid 03 there, Dad.
It was 23.
Let's see. When did Trish Stratus retire?
I think it's 2007. Because 2005.
2006.
Okay, so we were 1 year off.
She was 30 years old.
Yeah, something like that.
She's 47 now. She doesn't look like she's fucking 47.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, like, she's just gotta lay those hits in. That's it. If she does that, I'm fine with it. Totally fine. I liked Trish.
Yeah. Anyways, the match was all right. They didn't have to have it, in my opinion. Or at least better build, or for the titles or something. Because who knows how long Ronda's going to be out for.
I don't really care for Ronda anymore.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I. Anyways, what was the next match?
Next match was Rey Mysterio defeats Dominic Mysterio.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say fantastic. The build for that match. Dom is just a phenomenal heel. I'm going to be honest. He's great. What he did to his mom and sister, I just watched a clip where Dom, like, that was improv. Like, Dom just, like, grabbed, he was like, yeah, I was going to just, like, take a sip or drink it, but instead, I just decided to throw the drink at her.
And, like, this dumbass has a drink.
Yeah, he was like, this dumbass has a cup in front of her. He's like, I wasn't going to do that. And I said, fuck it.
Fantastic. The whole, like, entrance thing. Just everything leading into it. Oh, yeah, the prison Dom entrance. Fantastic.
The Latino Heat entrance was great, too. I was kind of hoping Ray would come out from, like, being shot up, though. I was kind of hoping a little vintage. I was hoping a little vintage.
Yeah, I mean, the stage was definitely massive enough to be able to do that. So,
well, they had the Cody thing.
The Cody Vader.
Yeah. What would they have to shoot up? They had the slow Cody Vader, but the fast Ray.
Yeah, it might have been too much. But I thought that was a good match. I'm excited because don't they have? Isn't there like a Judgment Day versus LWO tag match tomorrow night?
I think that was rumored.
Because I know Zelina's versing Rhea for the title.
Right.
No.
I was gonna say so the original idea was that it was gonna be Bad Bunny and Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest and Dominic.
Yeah.
So that would have been the LWO versus Judgment Day kind of deal. But I think they wanted to keep it just so that way it's Puerto Rican versus Puerto Rican.
The LWO theme is the new one. It's pretty banger. I'm gonna be honest. It's a pretty good theme. They finally, have their own theme. It's pretty good.
I heard it real quick, and that's about it. So I don't necessarily remember. I turned it on once yesterday, listening to it in the car. So I'll have to listen to it again and see what it's like.
I've not heard it.
All right, so that should leave us. Next match should be Rhea versus Charlotte, correct?
Yep, Rhea versus Charlotte.
Oh, that was great.
Another great match. Charlotte finally decided to sell for someone, so we got that.
Yep, and then she decided to do a really weird, I think it was like a backflip or something like that. She took a backflip off of some move. I think it was a belly-to-back suplex that she was taking, and she decided to do a full-on rotation for absolutely no reason. And hit her face off the ground, and
it was a back suplex.
Pleasant.
It was a back suplex, and she tried to do like a full flip, and she landed right on her
went
face.
Straight, yeah. That wasn't smart. It wasn't necessary for that, but the rest of the match there were a lot of great spots. Personally, I think that was match of the night. Leading up to Cody and Roman, but it was man, for something that wasn't the main event, it felt like the main event. Like my buddy and I were sitting there watching this, going, "This is really good. This was a lot better than we anticipated."
Oh, before the show, I was like, "Why isn't this the main event?" She won the Rumble.
Yep,
She
right.
deserves the main event. And then, the main event happens, and then you realize, okay, I was wrong. Just purely on the feeling and the audience reaction.
I don't know why.
The story was there for Roman and Cody to be the main event. The story was kind of rushed for Charlotte and Rhea, but it was such a really good match. It was a fantastic match.
I'll look it up.
Lots of great spots.
Text me.
Glad that Charlotte.
Bye.
Yeah, I feel like Charlotte normally doesn't get overly I don't know. Maybe she doesn't fully get into it in my opinion. I don't know. It's gonna sound really stupid, but there's a lot of times where the selling isn't there. Just the reactions aren't there. The facials, aren't there to sit there and be like, okay, well, really invested into this match. And with this one, I sat there and went, if Charlotte can do that every match, I would be way more interested than just being like I'm the badass, I'm gonna win kind of mentality that I feel she has going into these matches.
It's been a month since then, and she hasn't been on TV.
Yeah, well, that she apparently her and Andrade. I was going to say Alberto, like a fucking idiot. Her and Andrade were going on like a massive vacation or something like that.
I mean, she had taken a lot of time off, and I guess she's injured again with something she has to go get taken care of. Probably nothing too serious, but it gives her some time to go on vacation.
Nose, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably a thing.
About the rest of her face.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
bet
about
she
that.
has. She did. Listen, man, she got the mole removed years ago, so
That's true.
that was my thing. Not to not to pick on appearances because who the hell am I to pick on appearances? But that it was a very distracting mole. It's like that scene in Austin Powers.
But that mole keeps moving.
Mole, 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 mole. Sorry.
Yeah, but he actually ended up being the mole.
Yeah. So it's terrible. Looks like a young Shane McMahon. But yeah, so go back and tell me I'm wrong.
I never
Go
thought of
back
that.
and
You're
look at
right.
it and go,
You're right.
Yeah.
He looks like the Mean Street Posse, Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's not Ben Savage, it's his little brother.
What's the older brother?
Is it the older brother or the younger brother?
No,
Yeah, it would be the older brother.
It was Golden Years, not Boy Meets World.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to remember what his first name is.
It's Fred and then Ben.
Fred Savage. Yeah, there you go. Fred Savage. Yeah, young Shane McMahon.
But yeah,
We'll get to Shane McMahon later on.
Here comes the mole. Anyway, so for a breather between the two banger matches of the show, we get the Miz and Snoop Dogg start talking, and Miz says, "Oh, I put out an open challenge," and it gets answered by Pat McAfee, and then he beats the Miz in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Assist to George Kittle.
for a short match, I was entertained. It just shows that Pat McAfee can, go in the ring. So,
yeah, Pat can definitely go in the ring. I feel like it was definitely unnecessary, though. Like, there was no reason for it. Other than to put Pat McAfee on WrestleMania.
I just don't understand why they just didn't do what they did. What was it? SummerSlam or whatever? Or the Rumble, and just have Pat announce too. Like, just have Pat announce with them.
That was the Rumble, and he just showed up and did the show.
Like, Pat,
Yeah,
Pat could have easily just shown up and announced at Mania too. That's just my.
Yeah, I feel like there was no reason for it no reason for the match, so I wasn't overly thrilled about it. I like Pat McAfee. It was out of place. There was 0 point to it. I feel like it actually took away from the show a little bit, because if you have that high going into like that main event, keep it going. Why kill it? I mean, not to say that Pat McAfee isn't going to keep people excited and everything. It's just I think a lot of people did what I did and went, huh? So
WWE likes that break. I'm a New Japan fan. Those shows go like this. WWE likes the curve.
I mean, you gotta throw some piss breaks in there, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like that. All right, that was probably just a piss break. Honestly, that's probably what they intended it to be.
I mean, the match is 3:40, but the segment is probably like 20 something.
Yeah, the segment was closer to 10, I think.
Yeah. And then your main event of night 1, Owens and Zayn defeat the Usos to win both tag titles.
That's what I'm talking about. Not Cody. That's the next night.
I thought it was a great match. I still think Rhea and Charlotte should have main evented, but it was a great match. Plenty of emotion, a lot of near falls. So it was. I honestly, there was one point during the match that I didn't think Sammy and KO were winning the match. To be honest,
I figured that they would.
I thought
that
they were
the story
going
was
to.
there. Honestly, I feel like they owed it to Sammy. I feel like they really did owe it to Sammy to do it. Not to say like he shouldn't, not say that he shouldn't have had it anyway, but the fact that Sammy and KO, the fact that they've put on this story on and off for 20 years. I mean, the hate you, love you thing, and they can still do it and get away with it after 20 years. It's like, okay, everybody knows your story at that point. and the story is just writing itself at that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like it started off a little bit too slow, and I feel like, the first maybe half of the match was a little bit too slow for me because you're riding off of, like I said, Charlotte and Rhea, where the energy was just so intense, and then you're starting off this match just really slow. I feel like it killed it a little bit for me, but then after a little bit, it picked it up, and then the story started taking over. I still think that Rhea um, and Charlotte should have been the main event because that, to me, was the main event match. But the story was there for the Usos and KO and Sammy, so I can understand why it was the main.
Your thoughts on the match, Dan?
Oh, it was real good. It was real good.
And then we go over to night 2, where it starts off with Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
And there's almost a murder.
Didn't see it.
Who was almost murdered?
Almost was almost murdered.
I don't remember. What happened?
Well, the match is 4:55. Brock Lesnar whooped that ass.
Brock Lesnar.
I didn't care for the match. I thought it was the worst match to start off the show with. If we're going off of WWE 2K23 GM mode logic, it should have been match number 2.
I think that was more of a because we want to get Brock back home as soon as possible.
That was a half-star match to me. That was a half-star match. I could.
So the next match better be 0 stars.
What was the next match?
That would be the women's tag team showcase.
Still didn't see it.
Until the ending, I thought it was a good match.
So that was Ronda and Shayna defeated Liv and Raquel, Natalya, Shotzi, and Chelsea and Sonya.
Ronda was clearly still hurt, probably wasn't cleared, and came in and won by just taking pinning whoever it was. I thought it was bad for that because I get it. Ronda and Shayna were probably most likely were supposed to take the tag titles, but Ronda got hurt beforehand, and I don't think they should have made that decision of them going over. I would have chose probably either the Karen squad of Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville or Liv Morgan and Raquel, considering they're now the tag title
considering
champs.
They won the title like a week later.
Yeah. Besides that, I thought it was a decent match until the ending. I thought the girls showed out, but that was just... I wouldn't have done it that way, ending-wise. Because we haven't seen Ronda. Gotta get in the hot tub. Now.
Dude, so I was down in Orlando for MegaCon, and it was just such a crazy week. Like just a very, very hot and uncomfortable weekend. So I was so sore. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to the Hilton, sneak into their pool, and then, chill out in the hot tub for a little bit. Worst thing was, I got in the hot tub. This is probably more entertaining than the first 2 matches anyway. But I got in the hot tub, and about 25 minutes later, I realized that I had my rental car key in my pocket. So,
no.
I said, oh my God, shout out to Nissan for making an absolute beast of a waterproof car key. Because this fob...
No, I'm looking like old school key, like you would have gotten like the...
No, it's like the key fob.
But the actual, like, with buttons and shit.
Yeah. So no, this was just a straight up key fob. If this thing's dead, your car you can't get into it. You can't start the car. Nothing. So I almost shit when I realized that I had that key still in my pocket. And then I go out to my car. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna meet up with my buddy at Dave & Buster's at that point. And because I was already like 25, 30 minutes late. So then I get back to my car, and there's a tow truck right there trying to, about to take it. So I'm like, all right, good time. I'm heading out. So I think I got there right after those 2 matches had ended. So what was the third match?
Your third match was Gunther defeating Sheamus and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that's when I got there. Was right as they were about to come out, and dude,
might have been the
Sheamus,
match of the whole event, to be honest.
fantastic. Oh my god, that was such a good match. I mean, I loved the finish to it, where Gunter just comes in and power bombs. I think it was Sheamus, and just like pins. Did he pin Drew or did he pin Sheamus?
I thought, didn't he powerbomb Sheamus onto Drew or something like that?
He powerbombed somebody onto somebody else. I just don't remember because it's been a month and some change now.
But I think it was Sheamus I think Sheamus took the pin, though. I think Sheamus took the pin.
Yeah,
but man, that match was fantastic.
So good. 3 hard-hitting dudes. Like, I really wish... actually, not that I wish it, because I feel like it should happen at some time. But
he powerbombed Sheamus onto Drew, who was on all fours.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then my thing is that, like, I wasn't expecting Gunter to win it. I think I was so mindset that Sheamus was going to win it and kind of, cap off that Grand Slam champion deal.
It's the one thing he hasn't won.
Right. And I really feel like when Gunther gets dethroned, it should be Sheamus.
Really?
Like, I don't think that
dude started with a world title.
Yeah.
It took him like a week longer than Brock Lesnar between debut to champion.
Yeah, he was champion within, I think, like 3 months.
He came in during the summer in ECW, and he was world champion at TLC, where he slightly pushed John Cena off the top rope, and he went through a table.
Yep.
It's like it's worse than when Randy Orton RKOs, but only he goes through the table and he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Gunther was going to drop, because there was at the time little rumblings of a new world heavyweight title potentially coming, and I thought there'd be no one better person besides him or Seth Rollins taking a new world heavyweight title if it came out.
Yeah,
but I think they want him to beat Honky Tonk's record.
Have they announced the people for that tournament yet?
No, but obviously Seth is going to be one. I think Finn is going to be another for Raw. Probably Cody. We'll get on to the discussions of that after we're finished with the card. What was next? Was it Finn versus Edge?
Bianca versus Asuka.
Man, the wrong person won that match that night.
I liked the match, but I was definitely not down with Bianca retaining.
I think Bianca's run is stale. I think she needs to drop the title. I think the fans are turning on her. Asuka was more over than her in that match. You could hear by the crowd. I think Asuka deserved to win the title, and they chose the wrong person. And I know tomorrow night Io's probably going to lose, but man, if there was a person that was to take the title off of her, you have no better person than Io right there. Like, multiple-time NXT Women Champion.
They've written themselves into the corner where they're literally gonna just, you take this belt and I'll take that belt.
You know what's going to happen, and I hate that this is probably what's going to happen.
It's just gonna swap belts.
Well, besides that, Bianca is probably gonna hold the title until WrestleMania and then drop it to Charlotte Flair. That's
so a 2-year reign, but technically not because it was a title change. The title's changed.
That's what's going to happen. She's gonna drop it. She's gonna drop it to Charlotte. That's probably what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be pissed because you could have just had Asuka win the title. and then have Asuka go
Man,
back.
what are the longest women's reigns? That would be a 2-year reign. WrestleMania through WrestleMania.
Bianca's
into
probably the
next
longest
WrestleMania?
reigning women's champ. Well, no, Asuka is the longest reigning. Just champion in general.
What? Asuka's the
For
longest
women,
reigning champion?
for
Oh,
women,
for women.
For women, sorry.
I was like, no, we've already established this.
I'm sorry,
like, we
I
already
don't
know
count
who's the longest
Roman.
reigning.
Okay. Well,
So
no,
the
it's Bruno.
longest SmackDown reign is currently Bianca. She passed Becky, probably at WrestleMania.
What was
That's just
Asuka's NXT
SmackDown.
reign?
So let's look at.
Because hers was long. Because she pretty much got the title once she almost debuted at NXT, I'm pretty sure.
I think that, either way, Asuka definitely should have had that.
Yeah,
And-
great match. Wrong person won.
Yeah. I don't know why they decided to keep Bianca as the champion. But it definitely, I'm over Bianca. Matt, you and I have discussed this plenty of times before, where we've said how like Bianca's gotten real stale. It's like way that Sasha Banks, like when she was just, I don't know, when she was in her reigns, or at least the last couple of years of her being there, it just felt like it was just really stale. It felt because there's no change. It's come out, cut the same promo, do the same thing, make the same moves, and then win. And it doesn't feel like there's any variations to me.
Bianca has either
there.
been or won the championship the last 3 WrestleManias.
Yep.
Last 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was the Sasha match for her to win the first title, and then last year was Becky when she got the title back,
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
and then this
Yeah,
year
I
was
thought.
Asuka.
I don't know why I thought
Asuka
that.
was NXT champion for 510 or 522 days because they taped it back then.
She never technically lost that title.
Well, as a developmental title, a lot of the champions end up technically never losing the title.
All right. Anyways, we both agree. Great match. Wrong person won.
We all agree.
Next match is, I'm pretty sure it's Edge versus Finn, correct?
Next match is Miz is going to face Shane McMahon, and then he does a leapfrog.
Like father, like son, like father, like son, whatever the fucking phrase is.
And it turns out he tore both quads.
I remember watching it. I'm like, there's no way that's real. That didn't just happen. That didn't just happen. My buddy's like,
And then as they slowly through the week release alternative camera cuts, and you see somebody tells something to the referee. Referee says something. Cameraman says punch Miz.
and then people's elbow.
Snoop Dogg has the greatest people's elbow I have ever seen. So
He did so good, so on the fly, so quick with it.
I mean, the punch that Snoop gave was great, and then the people's elbow way better. The Rock has nothing on Snoop Dogg.
You know why The Rock started doing that?
To try
He
to
has a
Just
hard-
to get a pot.
He had a hard time coming from that side to drop an elbow.
Oh, I thought
So
it
he
was
just
because he
started
was trying
running
to
ropes.
break Undertaker.
Right, that's what I thought you meant. Was like, why did he start doing? Because he wanted to do the most ridiculous move.
So he had a hard
And,
time coming from that side for an elbow. So he was like, I got to come up with the most craziest way so I can come from the other side with this elbow.
Just run that way, I guess. I don't know. It's like, all right, you have 2 ways you could go. You're at the head of the guy. You could run right or left. If you wanted to go right, go right. If you want to go left, go left. But it was all to try to break Undertaker while he was wrestling. It was literally a bet, I think. But yeah, Snoop Dogg Shane McMahon had zero place to be there. I feel like that was just kind of a layup from Vince to sit there and be like, nah, all right, Shane, you're back. And after the Royal Rumble shit that Shane pulled, I'm not a huge fan. So, yeah, I mean, as bad as getting injured is, it was a waste of just a waste of time anyway. And I honestly think that Snoop Dogg doing two moves was way more entertaining than any match that Miz and Shane was going to have anyway.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I honestly didn't think he was ever going to be allowed back, as according to everyone, like Vince didn't got rid of him and didn't want him to come back ever again while he was in the company. Or some shit like that.
I don't know. Vince is doing a lot of shit right now. So, who knows?
All right, last match. We all know it.
So next is finally the Edge versus Finn match.
Sorry, second to last.
Which
match.
ends up getting cut in about half, probably.
Yeah, they cut 15 minutes because of Finn's injury, which is crazy. That cut was huge.
Yeah, I mean when he started bleeding, and then they stopped it, my buddy and I were like, "You can't see it. He's wearing full face paint." The only ones that know that he's bleeding are them, and then whatever was falling onto the ring. So we thought that it was like WWE just trying to be PC, or not PC, but PG rather, and and stopping the match because of the whole blood thing. I was like, it's a Hell in a Cell match. Let them bleed, man. And then when we found out why, okay, no, it's
the entire top of his head.
Yeah, oh man, took that ladder hard.
Yeah, and
real hard.
What a badass to continue though.
Yeah, losing all that blood, they literally came in, injected some numbing stuff into his wound, and then stapled it up and went, all right, back at it.
What a man.
Kudos to Finn Balor, man.
I also think he wasn't supposed to lose that match, but because everything that happened, they had Edge go over.
They definitely could have had him still go over no matter what happened. So I do think that he was still supposed to lose, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy Edge. I enjoy Finn Balor. Finn Balor's a hell of a worker, and this has proved it. Throw the championship back on that guy.
See, that's another I wouldn't mind him winning the title. Like if it came down to Finn versus Seth, but since we'll get to that. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Discussions. Let's finish up the WrestleMania recap and then move on.
Yeah.
It's almost an hour anyway.
And then we have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I'm still of the opinion I think Cody still should have won that match. That's just me. But for the most part, hell of a match. I'm really getting tired of the bloodline interruptions in the match. To me, it makes Roman look weak. That's just me. I thought Cody should have won. Still do. I don't care about this reign or the 1,000-day reign or trying to beat Hulk Hogan's reign. I don't give a fuck. Roman's a part-time wrestler. We're not seeing him tomorrow night, I don't think. The next time we're going to see him is Night of Champions and then probably SummerSlam. I'm tired of it. Vince really fucked this up. And I think Triple H is trying to figure out a way to how to get this over, and he doesn't know how to get it over. That's just me.
And the issue is that the stories never end. But also, that means Cody doesn't win until next WrestleMania. Because if you pull that, this match is too big for WrestleMania, but it's perfect for SummerSlam shit one more time.
That being said, I hope that they don't just give Cody the win on this new championship, because I really think that I don't think he necessarily needed to beat Roman Reigns, but I feel like it was just the time to strike.
because then you could just make them one title, or have him drop one of the titles, which they still could do, but it's not anymore. But
I don't understand why they decided to do the draft now. They literally could have held off until after SummerSlam and then announced the draft, because like there was never a plan for a draft. Like none of us sat there and went, "Oh, it's draft time of the year." And like it just, I think they just wanted to line it up with like the NFL draft.
Yeah.
But yeah, my whole thing with that is that, I had said to my buddy before the match, I went, "What if Cody loses?" And he goes, "No, no, there's no way." And I went, "What if?" And then Cody lost, and everybody in Dave and Buster's went silent. Like, there was just, you could literally hear a pin drop.
It was a huge risk, because like I said in our group chat and to you that you potentially just ruined whatever momentum Cody had. And thankfully, the fans proved me wrong with that, because he's still hugely over. Probably the most over superstar right now in WWE, next to Seth Rollins. Yeah. And, like, it could have went south real fast after Mania. It could have.
Yeah, and that was the risk that they were willing to take. And, I've watched other podcasts and listened to other people talk about it. And, at first I hated the fact that, that Cody lost. I was like, this is going to be a momentum killer. He's going to go back to the mid-card, whatever. I was like, strike while lightning's hot. And strike while the iron's hot, and strike when lightning, mix them together, apparently.
It's okay.
Thanks. I'm half awake.
How the tables.
So my thing with it is that I hated it at first. I hated the decision. But after watching other people talk about it and listening to what they say, I don't think that they made the wrong move. I think that, it would have been that time to really go ahead and like just make Cody Rhodes. At the same point, what like a lot of people were saying was, well, there was multiple things, right? Cody went off, made his own company to rival against WWE, took so many shots at WWE. The whole throne thing, the Triple H throne thing, literally everything. So, one, do I think it was a way of sitting there and saying, okay, I'm not going to let an outsider come in and take my company's championship the first time he's back into a major role. But also, people were saying that chase is still happening, and that building back up to Roman Reigns could make an even bigger pop than him winning at WrestleMania. I don't really see it, but I can understand where they're coming from, where it's like, okay, you just got defeated, you're going to have to go through the gambit all again, get back to Roman Reigns, and then beat him. It's like, now you're showing you're worthy of it. Whereas, like, before, you're just coming in and going, I just tried to take you guys down. Now I'm taking your title, too. Like, I can understand why they didn't do it. I do love the bloodline. Contrary to you, Matt, I love the bloodline. I love that Roman is just this big pansy of a champion. I've always loved heel champions that are like that for some reason. And, but the one thing with doing it all the time is that I feel as though it does kind of diminish Roman in a way. I feel like that would have been the time for Roman to go over totally clean. Like, I feel like there was zero reason for the interruption with Usos, KO, whatever. Solo coming in and hitting the throat. Like, there was absolutely no reason to do that, because you could have had Roman go over Cody Rhodes totally clean, made him look like an absolute star, and then sat there and gone, every other win that he's had has been because of interruptions. This shows that he's worthy of, like, this shows that he's God mode. And Cody would have to build back up to it. Whereas now, I mean, it was kind of like, okay, you just lost by interruption again. So, like, Cody definitely would have beaten the hell out of you. So it kind of made Roman look a bit weak. But, I think that...
heel factions end up doing. Like, I would... To date, I would say one of the worst factions is Legacy. Because they were worse than the sum of their parts.
Legacy was terrible.
They went from being a dominant world champion, dominant tag team champions, and then when they teamed together, they couldn't win to save their lives if it wasn't for interference from the others.
Right. Yeah. Legacy. You had the two young guys of Cody and Ted.
Oh, poor Ted. Poor Ted.
Poor Ted is like going to federal rape me in the ass prison.
Yeah, poor Ted's about to. No,
that's what happens when boy.
His brother just got like 12 years in prison, so.
As
his
well.
Brother
Oh my goodness, them DiBiase boys.
Them boys. Yeah, his brother just got like 12 years in prison for this scam or something, whatever it was. Maybe not 12.
Isn't he, or is it Ted Jr. that's involved in the Brett Favre stuff?
Ted Jr., I think.
Okay, yeah.
So
I mean, all of them are getting questioned right now. Anyway, it's a whole big deal. I'm curious to see what happens with it. But either way, yeah, no, Legacy, terrible.
So to move on,
going around long enough to build it up.
To about the whole Cody thing. So they're doing, starting. I don't think it's tonight. Starting next week, they're doing 2 triple threat matches on Raw. Whoever wins those two will go up against 2 SmackDown superstars from 2 also triple threats in a fatal 4-way at Night of Champions for the new title. I have a theory, and I know some people are not going to like this, and it's not just my theory. It's also some people from Xavier Woods' Discord server have brought it up too. What if a SmackDown superstar won the title? Now they go to Raw, and you trade that person that won the title with Cody Rhodes, and he goes to SmackDown.
It's not like it's uncommon for them to do trades. It's just maybe so late after the draft that maybe it just wouldn't make sense at that point.
Yeah, because
the
champions at the end of the month.
The Night of Champions is
the 27th,
May 27th.
Which I won't be able to watch. I'll be at the Boston Calling.
Yeah. I'll be at Boston Calling too.
Oh, but that'll be like a 4 p.m. show, right? Because it's in
oh yeah, Saudi
Arabia.
Well, the Boston Calling starts at like 1
Arabia.
p.m. So.
Well, yeah, I would imagine like a event. Yeah, like a weekend event.
What day is that? Is that event on the Saudi show? Is that Saturday event?
They've been good about being Saturday, so let's see here. 27th.
Because I know that NXT has Battleground, and I think
27th is Sunday. Saturday.
Okay, and then I think Battleground
is going to be Sunday then, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is in Lowell, and I can't go because I'll be at Boston Calling.
I mean, luckily for me, I will not be at Boston Calling that day.
I'm just
going the first day at Boston Calling.
But yeah.
But either way, I don't think that they should do that. It's so stupid that they have SmackDown guys in this, because Triple H said that this whole championship's purpose is Roman goes to SmackDown, this title goes to Raw. Or if Roman went to Raw, this title goes to SmackDown, and it stays there. Keep it exclusive. Like, bring in your Raw guys and have tournaments of Raw guys. Don't throw SmackDown into it. There's zero reason for SmackDown to be in this. And if you're going to have SmackDown win it, do some stupid shit where that guy wins it, goes off and faces Roman, and Roman just takes it. Roman 3 belts.
Just to piss everybody off. I'd hate every single thing about that.
3 belts that represent 2 championships.
Yeah. But then Cody comes in and takes the belt back. It's like, oh hey, okay.
I finished my story.
Finish the story, beat the god. And Cody takes all 3 belts. I don't know. I really hope that they make a new belt for SmackDown.
I hope so too.
Yeah. My thing is that zero reason to have SmackDown involved in this in any other way.
I agree.
They have the Universal Championship / WWE Championship, of Raw the World Heavyweight Championship, and leave it. I don't know. You know, the only problem with this draft though is that Cody is on Raw, and if you give him the championship win, it is gonna feel so minuscule versus whoever. Whereas, like, he should have beaten Roman because now it's a consultation prize.
Yeah.
Now it's I can't beat Roman, but I can become this champion. So.
But also, that's kind of the point of this new belt, right? That's one of the things. This is a belt for the rest of the guys. You know, the ones that
they should have gone about this. They should have gone about this so much differently. They really should have. This is they. I feel like Triple H and, you know, I feel like probably Vince had something to do with it, where it's like, oh, hey, here's this, and then executives over at Endeavor didn't like how Vince ran things, and Triple H had to sit there and go, well, shit, now what? Let's split it up because our investors are gonna not want to be part of this anymore. Okay, Fox, USA, you both want a title? Let's give you a title. But Vince screwed me up at WrestleMania, so now I just got to bring one out. I don't know. It just, there were so many ways that they could have gone about this. They could have split up the titles at WrestleMania.
I've seen some rumblings that Stephanie might be coming back soon.
She just left after just coming back.
She left like a few months ago though. But
yeah, she came back for like a month and then left again.
Well, that's because her father came back. So I wonder if shit's happening with him again with Endeavor. Because he only
signed him 2 years. We're talking about it because now it's time for Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania, and Vince McMahon was totally in control of this. Just hours after the public notice of the Endeavor merger with UFC and WWE, and now they're going to be this new third thing. And Vince is here, and he's in charge. But he's not in charge, but he's in charge. What was his exact words? I'm not in the weeds anymore. Yeah, I'm not in the weeds. I'm just going to oversee. And you know what oversee means? It means I get to get the sheet at the end of the day and rip it up and rewrite it.
Which he did for Raw after Mania. But then there was so much bad publicity about it that SmackDown, he wasn't there. It was a Triple H run show, and SmackDown was great. And then the Raw after SmackDown was good too, and he wasn't there. So
he was phoning it in remotely for that Raw though.
Yeah, but there were supposedly a lot of changes, and I do follow apparently 2 people that actually work for WWE that said like not all of these changes.
There was the one show where a lot of people couldn't make it because of flight issues.
Yeah, there was like a lot of flight issues.
That show got rewritten at the last minute as well, conveniently. But yeah.
Vince needs to keep his hand out of things. That's all.
It kind of feels like when SmackDown moved to Fox and they purposefully hired Eric Bischoff to fire him the first time Fox got mad.
I wasn't I wasn't watching the Raw after Mania, but Matt, you told me about it. It just sounded terrible.
It was. There was 10 minutes of wrestling, I think, on a 3-hour show.
Something like that. Yeah, I think there was.
I think it was less than 30 minutes of wrestling happened on a 3-hour show.
I want to say the number 23 sticks out for some reason to me.
It was something like that.
Yeah, There wasn't any wrestling.
Before we end this episode, I want to ask who you guys are gonna win the Backlash at Backlash. So we have Cody versus Brock. Who do you guys think is winning?
Cody. That one could go 50-50. I think Cody will win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brock does.
Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight.
Send the fans home happy.
Yeah, Bad Bunny's going to win that one.
I
remember, Puerto Rico is where they will throw batteries and cups of piss at you.
So, which makes me...
Yeah, Puerto Rico doesn't play around, man.
If that's the match that goes on last, I would assume this is the second to last match, which would be Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rhea's retaining, but I think it's going to be kind of like a coming out match for Zelina, for everyone to see that she's talented and she's put in a lot of effort and work to improve her craft.
Yeah, she. I'm glad that they have brought her into this LWO situation because I feel like she was just floating. There's nothing really going on with her. Just kind of like fluttering into the wind. So it's good that they brought in the LWO. But yeah, my whole thing with that is Rhea's just gonna dominate the hell out of it.
I think it's going to be a good match. I think obviously Rhea's going to come out strong, but I think it's also going to be like a coming out match for Zelina where she shows that should be in this scene and that it's not.
Yeah, this is going to be reminiscent of like Rey Mysterio versus everybody that was much bigger than him. And that's kind of what I think that they're going to go for.
Great base for Zelina doing all her stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rhea's good. Rhea sells fantastically. Hell of a seller.
Like what Claudio did in Chikara and stuff. He was just like the glue for everybody, man.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Next match is Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn versus the Usos in Solo Sikoa. I think the Bloodline's losing. I think it's to add more cracks to the Bloodline. I think they're losing. I think Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn are winning. And then I hope everyone just decides to beat the shit out of Matt Riddle and it gets off of TV again. If you can't tell, I can't stand Matt Riddle. I fucking can't stand him.
They just randomly threw Matt Riddle into all this. I mean, when he got injured, wasn't it because of the Usos?
It was because of Solo.
Because of Solo, so at least it was part of the Bloodline. So that makes sense for continuity, but it just, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how to feel about this whole like Sammy KO situation.
They're getting new titles. I know that much.
Oh, good. I hope that they look good, not like the World Heavyweight Championship.
I like the world.
I don't mind that belt.
I like the modern day.
But I would have rather just had them bring back Big Gold.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, what I'm saying is more so, like, how WWE's always done, or at least within the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, how they've changed the other titles to look like, the women's titles look like that, the NXT titles, look like each other. It's like, how I want individuality between all the championships. So
I do love really wrestling fans that are like, they all look the same, and I'm like, do you like UFC? Those are all literally the same.
I see a photo of some guy holding a belt from UFC, and I go, "Who is he? The world champion?" And they go, "No, he's the bantamweight." Okay, well, okay, all right. I don't know.
Okay, then, all right. Then.
They're all exactly the same.
Bantamweight's women, isn't it? I don't know. It's the light heavyweight junior division champion. I don't watch UFC, guys. Anybody watching this podcast right now that likes UFC is about to hate me. So
I watched OG UFC, like a first 10.
Yeah, I didn't mind like that.
There was like the sumo wrestler is gonna face the kickboxer.
Yeah.
Enough of that UFC nonsense.
Yeah, give the belt some individuality. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I got it. I got you there.
Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the whatever name of this title is going to be.
Give it to Io. I don't care.
Io's actually on the show. That title has the name of it. So,
I would like to see Io win, but it's most likely going to be Bianca.
Oh yeah, there's no way in hell it's going to be Io.
Yeah, it's like Io's first title shot, and Bianca just won at WrestleMania.
But I think it's going to pave the way for the eventual. So everyone assumes it's going to be Bayley turning on Damage Control. I think it's going to be Bayley and Dakota turning on Io.
Is she gonna give the thumbs down and Dakota drops Io?
Because Dakota has a history of turning on her friends.
Yeah.
So why not have Bayley and Dakota turn on Io?
Bailey also has a history of no, does she? I don't know.
I
Has
thought it
Bailey
was
turned on her friends?
I thought
Bailey
it
and
was.
Sasha have a frenemies. Had always had a.
I thought it was
frenemies
always
thing going on.
Sasha turning on Bayley. I always thought it was that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, because Bailey's only
one-
turned heel the one time, and that's the heel run she's still in.
Yeah.
That's like 4. That's going on 4 years ish, 4+ years. Because that was
2019. It was the night they did the.
dude, bring back that SmackDown set. By the way,
They did
like,
the
I
preview.
loved that SmackDown set.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad set. I liked it.
They did the 2K preview for all the special people, and they're literally there at the show, and someone says, "Oh, hey, Bailey just went out there and cut all the Bailey buddies with a knife, and she's a heel now." And the developers were like, "Son of a bitch!"
She also cut her hair. She's got no hair yet, and they're like, ah,
And all new gear.
damn it,
The game comes out in 3 weeks.
it's a DLC.
All
Fuck
right.
it.
We got the triple threat for the United States Championship: Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. I personally think this is going to be the match that steals the show. I personally would love to see Bronson Reed win this title, but I think it's going to be. I think Theory retains. I also think Theory's going to be turning face soon because of all the heels that are on SmackDown now. Because you can't have Bobby Lashley going for the title again after this. This would be his fourth time going after Theory for this title.
Is Bobby a heel or a face right now?
I don't fucking know what he is. He was supposed to turn heel, then he stayed face, and then hinted at going heel, and then stayed face. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Ah, yes, the Big Show treatment. My problem with that is that, Bobby. Did Bobby go to SmackDown too? I forget
Bobby
the
went
whole
to
supplement.
SmackDown. Reed stayed on Raw, so that's another reason why I don't think Reed's winning, because he's on Raw.
Okay.
Because Theory went to SmackDown.
Make Bobby the face and keep Austin Theory heel. I think Theory has more work to do as a heel. I think he's doing a good job so far with it.
See, I see that, but if he feuds with Waller, it's going to be heel versus heel, and I don't see Waller being a face.
I feel like Waller could become a face. Waller's a really good heel. He's just a cocky asshole that, is
Cocky Australian, right? He's
so
Australian.
annoying. Yeah, it's just he can be so annoying. But I don't know. I feel like after a whole loss to Carmelo Hayes kind of deal, it could easily sit there and say he got humbled in a way. Because just to have Theory turn face, I don't know. I feel like that would be one of those things where a lot of people want Theory, a lot of people hate Theory, a lot of people hate Grayson Waller. I don't know which one that they would hate more.
I think they would hate Grayson Waller more. That's just me.
It's got that face.
It's got that face that you just want to punch. It's a punchable face.
Even his
Just
gear
wanna-
makes me go, boo, fuck you.
The lazy shorts deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see what they do there.
Die, dude.
Now, to end this podcast on the last match, clearly a Vince McMahon match, Seth Rollins versus Omos.
Why? Just why? That's the whole. It was
What's
zero
gonna be funny?
build up.
Is because both of I would have to believe, I'll guarantee Seth's on that Raw side of the title thing, and I would almost guarantee you Omos is also in that title thing.
See what you did there.
Oh, the Omos. Yeah, that happens. That's what happened tonight.
Yeah, for me, it's just there was like, just why? Why did you sit there and go, all right, at Backlash, it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Omos? Like,
It was just announced. It's just like
where?
this is happening.
It's like, what's the build-up for this? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have you not announce it and have the match just happen.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely stupid.
Especially since it's Omos, a guarantee they're fighting again in the next couple weeks.
Listen, if Omos had just gone out and done an open challenge, and Seth Rollins came out and went, "I've slayed beasts before," yeah, just the Joker laugh in his face, and then just like takes him down. You're a beast, I'm a beast slayer. Takes him down. Like, okay, well, but would have been 10 times better than I think that they announced him accidentally. I feel like they probably, or at least that's the rumblings that I read online, was that somebody said that match wasn't supposed to be announced at that time, and then it accidentally got announced, and they were like, okay, we're just gonna roll with it. So it'll be okay for what it's gonna be. Should have built it up. That's all.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we're gonna end that episode on this. So I thank you guys for joining us. Well, me for this. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Anytime.
We have Backlash tomorrow. We'll find out what happens there. This episode will be up tomorrow. It is my birthday tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
Look how 2 birthdays.
Happy birthday!
Close, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, right. Shit.
But yeah, I'll be in Boston in the afternoon, and then going to my buddies for Backlash. So yeah,
Nice.
It'll be fun. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it.
Great.
Yep.
See you
Thanks
guys.
for having us. All right. See ya.